Hey, how's it going guys? It's Hero Collections here on behalf of Marvel Legends UK, and today we have something very special for you, as you can quite clearly see. We now have in hand the Family Matters X-Men Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary 3-pack. This is courtesy of In Demand Toys. They did get stock in a hell of a lot earlier than everywhere else, and we are so thankful for that. And as you can see, we have Quicksilver, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch. We're going to take a look at the box, and then we're going to take a look at each figure. Quicksilver first, then Magneto, and then Scarlet Witch. Looking at their deco, looking at their articulation, and then getting into some size comparisons as well. So on the back of the box, as you can see, we do get some really nice artwork. You've got the Brotherhood against the X-Men here, Quicksilver on his own, Scarlet Witch on her own, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver here, as well as Toad. And you also get all three of them here, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver with Magneto. And then here we've got Magneto against Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. And I think it's interesting to see that we have 2 or 3 cases here, 4 cases here, where Quicksilver is actually in his green costume. So whether that means that Hasbro are teasing us to tell us we're going to get a green costume later on is another matter for another time. But the bio reads, Magneto forms the Brotherhood of Mutants to combat anti-mutant sentiment, but the organization turns into a family matter when he recruits his twin superpowered children, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, to help him carry out his terrorizing agenda. Okay, getting a look at Pietro here. Out the box, he looks absolutely amazing. The paint is pretty simple but pretty sweet. The articulation is spot on for this character, and the accessories are pretty great as well. So if we take a look at the head first, let's bring him in a little bit closer for you. There we go. So the head looks pretty good. The only thing is the hair. The hair does slightly, as you can see where the head is just kind of glued on to the head itself. But it's not too big an issue. It doesn't stand out that much. The paint apps are amazing on the face. The eyes are looking straight forward. There's no droopy eyes with this one. The wrinkles are pretty well detailed. I think the hair has some shading. It isn't just a flat grey or silver, but it looks pretty sweet. Quite like it. And then looking at the body, as you can see, we do get this blue with some shading along the main body of the figure. It is a bit patchy with the white going across. But you get this lighter blue and darker blue that's shaded in across the body. The trunks, you get this darker blue. You get the white gloves, and we get the white boots painted as well. But overall, it's a very nice looking figure. It really does the trick, and I can see if they would use this. I can see how they would use this again for a green costumed Quicksilver. But yeah, stands really nice. You can get a good look at the back there. Really great looking figure. Okay, getting a look at Pietro's articulation. If we turn to the side, he can look all the way up. He can look all the way down. He does have an amazing ab crunch. He goes forward that much. He goes back about that much. If we bring him around, he does have butterfly joints, so the arms can go back that far. They can come forward that far. Shoulders come up. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows, sort of double jointed, but more just over 90 degrees there. Not quite double jointed. He does have a hinge at the wrist. It goes down and it goes up. He does have a waist swivel. His legs can kick up about that much, and they can go back. They can go back about that far. He does have a thigh swivel, as you can see there. He does have double jointed knees. He does have a boot rotation, and of course, he has ankle pivot. So overall, Quicksilver is going to be an amazing addition to any X-Men fans collection. And I think Hasbro did a phenomenal job on this character. Now in terms of his accessories, as you can see, I do have him with his fists here. He does come with these open hands just here. We just refocus there. Yep, there you go. He does come with these open hands too, which looks pretty good when he's in running poses, as you can imagine, which we will have photos up of later on in the video. Let's move on to Magneto. Okay, next up we have Magneto. So if we get a look at the paint, I think, as you can see, just straight off the bat, this guy looks pretty freaking good. Nice use of the classic red and the purple colors. Hasbro do have this metallic look for some of the cape and the helmet in particular, so it really came out looking nice. If I bring him a little bit closer, we'll take a look at the head. So just looking here, the only thing is I don't know. We'll see what you guys think. So feel free to comment below. But I don't know if the helmet looks a bit too big on him. I mean, it looks fine. It looks great. The eyes look pretty dead on, and the paint is pretty good in there. But just the helmet looks a bit bulky to me. It looks a bit oblongish, you know, in terms of the shape of it. But it does do the job. It does look pretty nice. As you can see, coming back around on the cape is a pretty flat purple. Nothing much going on here with the cape apart from the metallic on the top. But bringing him back round, as you can see, part of Hasbro's recipe recently, sweet and simple. And if you've been keeping up with our reviews, you've probably heard me say that quite a few times. But what I really am liking about what Hasbro are doing recently too is, I don't know if you guys will have noticed, but sometimes the joints on the figures can be a different paint color on the outside to the inside, depending on what the character is and what their costume is. But I'm really liking that recently Hasbro have been paying attention to that, and they've been making sure that it looks the color that it should be. But this figure just overall is looking really nice. So as you can see, you got the purple trunks, you got the red costume. We do have the purple that comes onto his gloves and his boots. Pretty nice. So this is a second head sculpt, and you do get a more metallic paint on the eyes. You get this big grin, obviously, to show that Magneto's about to tear something up. The helmets both are a bit off sometimes. The plastic kind of comes away at points, and I do think, looking at it, that the helmet is not so much on this one, but the other, and at some angles it does look a bit big, but it does the job. And I don't think it's too big an issue. I think it's just me being slightly picky with it. But just turning the figure around, as you can see, I've taken the cape off. Very simple on the back as well. The way the cape works is you get this point here that plugs into the back, and then this point here that just pushes the cape off of the back to make it look like it's flowing, which is pretty nice. As you can see, that part at the top just clicks into here. So pretty sweet and simple. In terms of other accessories that he comes with, he does come with fisted hands as well, which do look pretty good for more stoic poses, if you like, or more firm poses. And he does come with the aura effects that we've been known to get with characters like this. And just one thing I thought would be good to show you guys is, this is the Magneto head sculpt that came with the Magneto from the Apocalypse wave last year, and it does look very nice. I have to say, as much as we know that Magneto depends on his helmet, having this unhelmeted head, it looks so much better on this figure. So much better. So what we're going to do now is have a look at Magneto's articulation. So he does have a wide range of motion. The shoulders come up about that far. He does not have a butterfly joint, but he does have bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. He has a hinge at the wrist that goes down and up, as well as a swivel. He does have a waist swivel. His legs come out about that far. He does have a thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees, boot rotation, and ankle pivot as well. In terms of how far back the legs go, they can go far back, but it's just the cape hinders that articulation. He does have ab crunch, which is pretty nice. And then last but not least, his head with the cape can look all the way up and can look all the way down. So this figure overall turned out pretty nice. Okay, and last but not least, we have the magnificent Scarlet Witch. So we're going to have a look at her paint sculpt, we're going to have a look at her articulation, and then we'll go from there with size comparisons for all three of the figures as part of this 3-pack. So if I bring it a little bit closer, and we get a look at the face here, absolutely astounding. Look at that. Look at the hair sculpt on this action figure. That looks like a custom sculpt. You know, that doesn't look like something, I don't think we've ever seen the amount of detail on a figure like this on the hair from Hasbro. I mean, feel free to prove me wrong, comment down below, but I don't think we ever have. And the eyes, the lips, the eyebrows, I mean, this character has just been brought to life by Hasbro. Don't get me wrong, Quicksilver and Magneto look good, but this has just hit it out the park. This is going to be any collector's definitive Scarlet Witch action figure. They have used quite a metallic plastic in a way, or a marbleized plastic, as you can see coming further down the figure. I actually think this is the same body as the previous Scarlet Witch that we had, but just with the different feet. But they've used a mix of the pinks and the purples here. There's not much shading, it's just darker colours that are used for contrast, I think. And as you can see on the gloves and the boots, we do have that darker purple, but it is a very clean paint app on mine. In terms of the cloak, the cape, it is pretty much just a flat red as well. Some shading in there, but just with darker colours, I think a mix of colours. But just one more time, look at that face sculpt. Absolutely unreal. In terms of Scarlet Witch's articulation, she can't look back that far, if at all. It just doesn't move. She can look down a little bit, but that has more to do with, I think, the ab crunch, if anything, but it does come down a little bit. Her shoulders do come up. Her elbow goes just under 90 degrees. Her wrists do hinge up and down and turn around. She does have an ab crunch. It moves forward about that much, which isn't that much really. She can go back pretty far, but the cape kind of gets in the way of that. She can move her legs up about that far. She does have thigh swivel. She does have double jointed knees, and she does have ankle pivot. So the thing is that in terms of the look on this figure, it's absolutely amazing. In terms of the articulation, there's nothing really to go crazy about here. But honestly, for me, I think that the articulation, it doesn't faze me. So long as that face is looking as amazing as it looks, the costume looks as amazing as it looks, the hair is just unreal. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. Just a last thing, if we pop the head off, the head is on a ball peg. There's no joint there. So that's why you won't be able to move it forward, which is a shame. But as I say, given the look on the figure, I don't think anyone will really mind, because this will definitely be your definitive Scarlet Witch. I can guarantee it. And then some quick size comparisons for you. That's all three figures together, looking pretty amazing, I must say. If you want to compare them to, if we take Quicksilver away for a moment, you've got 90s Cyclops. You've got You've got 90s Jubilee. You've got Professor X. Looking pretty good. We have Mystique. Looking pretty good. And we have Wolverine there as well. And then in terms of these two characters, you've got Magneto from the Apocalypse Wave, and Scarlet Witch from the Avengers Age of Ultron wave. And I have to say, I do love this Scarlet Witch, the older version that we have. You know, it is a very classic look for her. There isn't a lot of paint detailing on it, yes, but I do really like the figure. That being said, the figure cannot stand to anything. The heels on it just really make it a bad bet. So having the flat feet on the new Scarlet Witch is a real bonus. But, you know, it's not too bad. It's just great seeing I mean, look at how far Hasbro has come. 2015, 2019. The change in detail, the evolution of detail and you know, bang for your buck is just absolutely amazing. So I know a lot of collectors are going to be happy to get these figures. I was so happy to get these figures today. So what we'll do is we'll get some photos for you guys. If you have any other requests or size comparisons that you'd like to see, then feel free to hit me up. I'm at Hero Collections on Instagram. That's hero.collections. Feel free to join us on Facebook at Marvel Legends UK. We have a great Facebook group over there for all UK collectors, as well as international collectors, overseas collectors if you want to join. This 3-pack is starting to ship in the United States. I believe a lot of my friends, at least that I've spoken to, Hemp Special, Figs Daily, they are starting to get theirs shipped by Amazon. I think it's arriving June 25th. The shelf date, if you like, the shipping date is supposed to be July 1st. So do look out for that. They will be shipping soon. In terms of the UK, In Demand Toys are shipping these guys out right now, as I've said. That's where I got mine from. And I believe other retail outlets like Comics and Cocktails, Kapow Toys, Star Action Figures, Darkside Toys will all be getting theirs next week and shipping them out from there. It does retail about $60 US. In the UK, it retails at about 50 to 60 pounds, depending where you buy it from. But honestly, guys, well worth picking up. Amazing figures, amazing detail, amazing articulation, definitive versions of these characters for your collection. Really, really, really great set. So good luck collecting, good luck finding them and getting them shipped out to you. And take care, you guys. Until the next video.